Hi again, I'm back. Wow, the last reading uploaded so fast that I thought I would do another one. So I did 2 readings the other day and I couldn't upload either one. It was crazy. I finally gave up. Okay, what I'm doing, the last reading I did, I mentioned the words somebody was trying to raise the dead. So long story short, it just kept going, it just kept popping in my head, raising the dead, raising the dead. And it made me think of one of my favorite songs, All Them Witches, and it's called Charles William. So, and there's a really cool story behind that song for me, like where I heard it for the first time. Let me just say it was in a graveyard, and it was while I was investigating the former owners of, well, I still technically own this house, I guess. I'm not divorced yet. But anyway, it's a very, very, very old house. Really, really cool old house. Huge, huge old house. And when my marriage fell apart and my ex moved out, I ended up being in that house by myself over a winter, and I was so well, I was mourning, right? And I ended up, I'm just gonna spit it out. I ended up getting haunted in that house, and it caused me to do some research on the house, which included going to the cemetery. And the song that I'll put the link underneath, Charles William. I had my headphones on when I walked. I didn't walk in the graveyard. I was already in the graveyard. I walked into their circle of tombstones that the family, the original family of this house, actually the builder of the house, he built it for his son. Okay, it's such a complicated story. I don't know how to spit it all out, and I'm trying to do this really fast. Maybe this will be a two-parter, but anyway, because we're talking about past lives here. So yeah, the owner of, or sorry, the builder of the house was a huge tycoon like 150 years ago, okay? And he owned, well, basically the whole province that I live in a long, long, long time ago. And he had a really interesting story. But anyway, he built the house for his son, and his son died quite young in his 30s. And this is stuff I found out when I was started doing research on it, right? It was fascinating. And it just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder and more synchronicities. And I can't tell you all of them, but one of them was the song coming on in my earbuds when I walked into the circle of graves. And the owner, his wife's name was Mary. And so that would have been the people that lived in the house, the couple that lived in the house with their 2 kids. That would have made his mom Mary. So anyway, so the word Mary comes up in the song right away, and I'm going to raise the dead. And so I felt like, oh my gosh, it feels like I'm getting like a huge message here, and ended up listening to that song over and over and over and over again. And it still fascinates me. But anyway, it really made the haunting real to me when this song came on. The other thing that I'm thinking here, because those ghosts in that house, they felt like family to me. They did. They felt protective. Actually, I don't even live in that house anymore, but I still feel protected by not the man who lived in the house. There was a father who died in his 30s, like I said. I don't feel protected by him. I feel protected by his father, this tycoon, who was ruined in the end too. Anyway, I'll just give you the name. His name was Boss Gibson, and it was in Marysville. So if you want to look him up, he's fascinating. It's really fascinating. And I'm still trying to figure out where he got all the money to get started. And, well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm pretty sure it was, he was a Mason. He definitely was a Mason. I've read all these books about him since then. And the Mason club was right across the street. So anyway, long story short, I feel like there's a connection here. Someone was trying to raise the dead, and somebody might have raised the dead, but they might not have raised the dead that they wanted. That's what I'm getting here, okay? So, and it's funny that there's a King of Cups again, Nine of Swords in the reverse again. Both of these are in the same place. And then over here, you now have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So you still have that couple, the King and Queen of Cups in the reverse. So I don't know, maybe this is going to tell some kind of past life story, or I just want to know how it's connected, why I was prompted to play that song and do a reading on that song. I hope my backstory makes sense. So I had a little puff just to be able to sink deeper into the energies. But I wanted just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and I might have got a little bit too much. So let's see. Let's see where we end up. All right, so it definitely looks ominous. You have, at the root of this, you have karma in the reverse, but it is beside the Seven of Cups, which in this deck means solution. So there is a solution to some kind of poor choices. Somebody made poor choices here. Oh yeah, and I used to get visions about that house as well. And one of the relevant ones that I just remembered. Okay, I'm gonna have to give you another backstory. So the house was occupied by the son of the tycoon, okay? Let's call him John. And actually, I think that was his name. So John and Josephine lived in the house. John died in his 30s. Apparently he butted heads with his tycoon father. So he died in his 30s. He was a big drinker. He was a bit of a hothead. And my instinctive feeling is that he committed suicide, okay? That was in October of 1880. In February of 1881, his 2 kids died. And that's the other thing that I was thinking about, that Six of Cups and the Three of Swords. There was a betrayal of kids, or I didn't want to say it, but there was death and kids. So they had 2 kids, 3 and 5, or 2 and 5. I'm going to name them just because it feels right. Florence and Frederick. So those 2 kids, they died within 2 days of each other, according to the information that I've been able to find. And they were supposedly, died of diphtheria. So I have no reason to not believe that, but something's making me say supposedly. And then I haven't really dug really, really deep, but I think that the mother, Josephine, she lived for at least another 20 years. She died in the 1900s sometime. Where was I going with that? Right. I've always wondered if she killed her kids. I don't know why, but I always have. I don't know where that came from, why. That's always been kind of at the back of my head. I remember the bathtub, it wasn't usable when we bought the house. We actually bought it for a shop that I had, but anyway, that's a whole other story. When I was left alone in that house, living in it by myself, because it was never, we didn't buy it to live in it, but that's where I ended up for a few years. I actually got the bathtub reglazed and had the plumbing replaced so I could actually have a bath instead of, long story short, going to the other side of the house into this teeny weeny little shower that was like in a closet. But anyway, I was finally able to have a bath, and oh my gosh, as soon as I got in the tub and I relaxed, I felt those kids, and I realized they died in that bathtub. So they could have died in that bathtub because their mother was trying to keep them cool, because they were fever, because they had diphtheria. And then I found their shoes under the floorboards in the bathtub. Anyway, like I said, I could make a YouTube series just about that house. And the ghost, Josephine and Mary and Boss Gibson and the kids. But I never felt John. I always felt like John. Yeah, I was going to tell you about my vision. I thought that John had an affair on her, and I also felt that him and his karmic or his girlfriend, that she committed suicide too. And I always felt like she couldn't get back in the house. And that he was so far away, like so far away, he was like in another dimension, something like that. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't really, I just know what I feel. Okay. I don't have a lot of info or terminology. Hopefully I'm making sense. But I always felt like John was like lost until he could find himself wherever he was in some kind of other world. Okay. How long are we going? Someone's messaging me, so I can't see the time. Okay, 11 minutes. All right. So if that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to me, but it feels like we're talking about something past lifey. Maybe we're talking about my specific old house. But I feel like I'm looking at John and his girlfriend. And I feel like they're in another world. Like they're not in our 3D environment. These people are not here. So these people have their back to each other. They're really upset. They're both in deep despair. This is the weirdest reading. Okay. 5 of coins in the reverse and the King of Cups in the reverse. This guy is in absolute despair. Based on the song, he wants to bring somebody home. So I don't know if it's her or if it's his wife, Josephine, who somehow represents, there's some kind of twin flame thing happening here. And I'm feeling a lot, she's in absolute, yeah, she's got the 5 of Cups in the reverse. Why do I feel like she's being washed away? Like she does. She feels like she's being washed away. There's a tide. Maybe she's being released. This is a karmic energy that is literally like dissipating as I look at it. And then this King of Cups in the reverse and the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. This is deep despair. This is also remorse. This guy is full of remorse. All right. 7 of Swords in the reverse and the 10 of Wands in the upright. Like this is literally just feeling like an energy now. Like something is literally ceasing to exist. And that could be an energy that was clinging to someone because this energy wanted to feel real. It's an attachment. This is an attachment. It's like a ghostly attachment that's fading. That's in closure. Okay. So then as well, you have, like I said, 7 of Swords in the reverse, 10 of Wands in the upright. This is called treason. 7 of Swords in the reverse is a revealing, or it's a, tables have turned. Someone's figured something out. Seven of Swords in the upright is deception. This is figuring out deception, figuring out treason. Something has been unmasked. Some treason has been unmasked. Treasonous behavior. Putting burdens on someone. Secretly putting burdens on someone has been noticed by someone. So right away I'm feeling like it's the boss. It's my friendly ghost. Someone got someone's attention because something kept happening over and over again. Someone kept going at someone secretly, didn't even have the balls to be noticed. Like someone did something from the dark. Someone was trying to do something. Yeah, they were trying to raise the dead. Now they're in deep regret and despair, and they might be getting haunted. And then in the advice, you have the Eight of Swords in the upright, right above dark karma. Ugh. Or sorry, karma in the reverse, same thing. Oh, wow. Okay, when this is in the upright, this is a little family praying to an eclipse. And they're praying for good things, good harvest, good future, good weather. When it's in the reverse, first thing I thought was there's a little family in the ground haunting someone, and Eight of Swords in the upright. All you can do is take it. It's in your imagination. Or is it? It keeps happening over and over and over again. This is a reunion. A reunion. It feels like you never know when you're going to see them. This is so creepy. This is so weird. I mean, it's not creepy because I feel like I'm talking about my friendly ghosts, but to someone who doesn't know them or someone that they don't like, yeah, I can really see that this person is like, somebody messed with the wrong person. Someone tried to rob somebody. Somebody break in my house? I know people have been in my house. I'm over that. I'm over that. Hopefully one day I'll get some pictures back. But yeah, I know that somebody did break into a few people. A few people. Wow, this is so weird. I thought this was going to be about the karmic or that couple that were trying to bring some kind of dark magic on someone. And this feels like it's more about, or maybe it's both. But somebody here, yeah, because there was that karmic feeling there that was, it's weird. It's some kind of attachment. It's literally like a sucker, like a catfish or like a, I don't know. But if you've got to be careful. Are all cheaters, do they all have some kind of weird attachment on them? Because that's what this feels like too. I don't know. That's another subject. So, yeah. So, okay. Eight of Swords in the upright, above karma in the reverse. Someone is seriously being haunted by one of my ghosts. This is the solution. Somebody here, also in the advice, Knight of Swords in the reverse, that's someone that, like, they just don't care. They don't care. They don't care. It's called ignorance. So it's also something they don't know. Oh, wow, they thought they knew everything, but they knew nothing. Wow, this person was incredibly heartless, careless, didn't care. They were hurting somebody here a lot, putting a lot of burdens on someone. Okay? They're being haunted now. They got the attention of somebody that they don't want the attention of. Intuition, Eight of Wands in the reverse. So that's silence. That's no contact. That is feeling very frustrated. And then you have the Nine of Wands in the upright. Something is, late. Someone's going to be late for a date. Someone is so disturbed, they're going to miss something. They're going to miss something. This is also something that, something gets pushed back. Someone's late for a date. Somebody's really tied up. Someone is tied up. Okay, I feel like I'm getting into some kind of weird shit there, because of this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse and the Three of Cups. I'm also getting, I don't know, somebody did some graveyard magic or something in the basement, or somebody did something and they thought that they were just having fun. And now they're getting haunted. A lot. Ace of Swords in the reverse. That's, it's called gross, or a lot. They have extreme and ignorance together. Extreme ignorance. Could be a blonde man involved in this. Somebody that's really sorry for what they did. Like someone's scared shitless. And then, we haven't even got to this yet. You've got the Moon and the World. Something about 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. The Moon and the World. Some kind of something aligning there, because I'm really seeing the Wheel and the Moon. When the Moon is in a certain place in relation to the world, somebody did something, they lined it up. Like they were trying to cause something really bad. They thought that they knew what they were doing, but they didn't. They tried to do some kind of creepy basement spell, and they woke up Boss Gibson. He built a lot of houses, but he built a whole town, actually. Okay, so anyway, some silly people, they decided to do a spell to cause poverty. I haven't even got over here yet. The devil's over here, the shadow side. I'm getting goosebumps. All right, now someone, I want to see what time it is. Every time I look to see what time it is, I'm getting a message. Okay, we're going to do part 2, okay? Let me just finish that thought, though. Okay, so some silly people who couldn't get over something. I don't know what they can't get over, but they can't get over something. Both of them have 5s in the reverse. They can't get over a change. Like, they don't want to face a change. But I'm also feeling like they're spirits. Like, I'm feeling like they're, especially this one. I am. I'm feeling like Oh, they had unfinished business. Oh my God, this is so weird. Okay, so somebody literally summoned or had attachments of two spirits on them that made them, I don't know, cheat, do horrible things to other people. It was like they were just, like they were empty vessels themselves, so they got attached, or attachments. These entities attached themselves to them because they were empty and they had no defense. So yeah, so these attachments in some empty vessel bodies, let's call it that. This sounds so crazy. They did some kind of spell, okay? They I don't know how these things work, but they did something so that the moon and the world were in some kind of alignment. And it worked. But it didn't get them what they wanted. They actually brought some kind of attention to themselves. They broke some kind of rule because their intentions were so dark, because they were trying to hurt someone. Not only that, I feel like they were trying to hurt someone that these spirits in the house that they got the attention of love their target. They love their target. And I'm not seeing the target here. I'm not seeing the person that these spirits love, but they got their attention. And I don't know, but it's like they destroyed themselves, because what they're doing destroyed their attachments. And now they're left with just themselves, but now they're getting haunted. Wow. Okay. This might just be way, 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 way too out there, but I'm going to stop it there, and I'll come back. All right? Love you guys. See you in a minute.